How's it going, guys? So in a previous video, I promised you that I would do a review of the Greenlight Surf Supply surfboard fin installation templates. These kits that they make themselves. I've tested it out now for a little bit, so let's jump right into it. But if you want to know, does it work? Is it any good? I'll come out right now and just save you some time and say yes, it works really good, especially for the price. So the kit that I have is the Future Style Finbox Installation Kit. It comes with a bunch of various parts. Right here, I'll just put up what it kind of comes with. I'll go through the parts for installing finboxes when I get to it. To set up the system, it's built to work with these Makita style routers. So this one here is a cordless one, which I've adapted to a DeWalt battery to, save on the types of batteries that I have. This system is meant to work with these Makita type laminate routers. This is just the cordless one, as I said. This is the corded one. This guy's treated me great, and the model number is the RT0701C, and then this one is the DRT50. Great laminate routers, like the best ones that I've used, and I've used a few. So Greenlight has developed the kit to work with these style of routers. I believe they sell one on their site as well that is a copycat of the Makita router. Probably even pick them up on Amazon or AliExpress, replicas of these routers. Although this corded one isn't that expensive. So to demonstrate in this video, I'm going to use the cordless one just because it's a little easier. I have a vacuum attachment on it. All you do is replace the shoe that's on the base of the router. What this is a CNC machine bushing insert. Then on the router itself, you have these collars that come in the kit. And what these collars are for is that they are depth alignment collars, or depth gauges, I should say. And you want the point that says flat to be where the cord is on your router. In the case of mine, it's the rear of the cordless router. It's got a taper on the collar. You want that taper facing downward. And then you want the flush side of the collar on the router this way. These subsequent collars are used to adjust the depth for depending on which type of fin box you are installing. So this then goes on like that. Then the bottom unit slides onto the router and then locks. Now also, to get the proper alignment for the included router bit, I believe it is a 1/2 inch bit, you need to install this bit slightly, snug it so that the bit can still move a bit in the collet. Then you're going to install the base onto it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this little alignment depth gauge and you're going to make sure the base is sitting flush up against the back flat portion of that collar, the green collar. And then you're going to take that depth gauge and you're going to align it over the router bit, and then you're going to move the router bit because you just snugged it until it's to the right depth. And then you're going to remove the base of the router, then you're going to snug the bit into place, and that will give you your correct depth. Okay, I think we're ready to start using it. So again, like I said, these collars are then used to adjust the depth depending on the fin. If you have a center fin box or side fin box, they all have different depths. I'm going to install just the side fins. I won't need the black one because it's 1/2 inch. You'll see that each one has writing on it to denote the depth. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the actual template itself. So there is the flange template, and then there's this insert that's for the slot of the fin box. So we're going to router out the slot first, and then we'll do the flange. Also, the back of this has this bath matty, grippy type of stuff. So when you have it on the board, it doesn't slide around. You're going to mark out where you want your fins. Once you get that figured out, you're going to place your template over the spot where you want your fins. Let's just say that I want my fin box to be here. So you can also make these reference marks here in case you need to remove this, but you still have those marks, which is really handy. And you can also use this provided insert here to help with your alignment. And then there's additional holes in this insert here. I'm going to put in the insert here and router out the slot first. I'm just going to grab some tape. I don't need a ton of tape because this is so grippy anyway. Honestly, the Greenlight guys have really thought of everything. I wish this kit was available when I first started building boards, when I started using futures, because this is just so much easier. We're going to use the initial collar, depth collar, lock it in place. That will give me the proper depth. I'm going to go grab the vacuum and hook this up. So I'm going to explain very quickly what I'm going to do here. So if we had a stringer in here, we'd have to do multiple shallow cuts, but because this is just foam, we don't need to do that. But what we're going to do is a plunge cut. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to slide this down and hold it until this is flush with the bushing. And then I'm going to place it in the slot here. I'm going to turn it on. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to plunge down into the foam, do my cut, shut it off, let the bit come to a standstill before removing it. Very important. Freaking awesome. So I'm going to remove the center insert now, and then we're going to do the flange. So for the flange, we're going to remove our base. We're going to go grab our white collar. Make sure it's butted up against the rear. The reason why this is tapered is you can actually turn this to adjust the depth if you want to make a deeper cut on the either the flange or the slot. So that's depending on if you have that need, and that's really handy. Because I actually do like installing my fin boxes so they're flush, so I would probably adjust this a little bit on my boards, but it depends. Experiment. Now that we have this white collar on, it will decrease the depth that the bit will cut. We're going to add our base back on, and as you can see, once I have it all compressed together, that's like the depth of the flange. Very ingenious. But in this case, I'm going to lock it. I'm going to make sure everything's all together, and I'm going to lock. Because this isn't that deep, I suppose I could plunge it. I'm not going to bother. This is just foam, but if you were doing this in wood, you probably wouldn't want to do that. You'd want to plunge it in. Grab my fin box here, and look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Perfect fit. That's just phenomenal. And again, if I need to adjust the depth, if I'm not happy with this, you can come in here, and then like I said, you can twist this collar to increase the depth. Just so ingenious. Great job, guys. So that's how you do that. And very similar, you do the exact same thing if you have the center fins, or if you're doing a quad, the two side fins. Incidentally, I'm not going to show you how to install these fins by gluing them in. I got lots of videos on my channel, or just go watch Greenlight Surf Supply's video on this. This is just a review of my impressions of, but from what I can tell, it did an excellent job. I will mention that I 3D printed some fins like this to help tape. You can tape and put pressure down when you're installing this fin. I'm just including that as an aside. You can buy these fins off Greenlight as well when you go buy the kit. Because I have a 3D printer, it's just easier for me to print some of these off. Let's do the center fin router jig. So for the center fin install template, I'm just gonna put it on the foam. It's easy enough. You gotta figure out where you're gonna put your surfboard fin. I'm going to then remove my collars. In the center fin router jig kit, it comes with this green, bright green collar. And again, that's gonna go on the router like that. So that's going to be my depth gauge. I will need to realign this bit, so I'm going to do that right now. Remove my battery for safety. I'm just going to come in here and slack off this bit so I can adjust the depth. As you can see here, setting the depth for the center fin is definitely a lot deeper than the futures. Come in here, slack this off. So what I do is I like to slack it off until it's loose, and then I tighten it until there's a little bit of friction, so that way I can move the bit. There's friction there now, and it'll stay in the position that I want. I won't have to worry about it. Now I'm going to take my center fin tool here. I got to raise this bit a little bit until it touches. Right like that. Now I'm going to gingerly remove my base without disturbing that bit. I'm going to slack this tight. Double check it, just like measure twice, cut once. We'll check this, and we're good. So I have a few different types of fin boxes here. I have some AliExpress specials, Amazon specials, and some genuine Fins Unlimited USA boxes here too. These are 10.5. Greenlight also provides this insert here that you can put into your template base here, right like that. Anyways, for the smaller ones, this is a 10.5. So we're not going to need that for this demonstration, but this template will work with these other fin boxes as well. They're very similar in size. We're going to do the plunge cut, like keep this a little snug, and then we're going to plunge down and go fire up the vacuum. All right, and there we have it. He's routered out. Now, I will mention that if you're going to be doing this on a wooden stringer, if there's a wooden stringer in there, you would do shallow passes. I would do like multiple. I'd probably do like 3 or 4 passes depending on the type of stringer and how hard it is. If it's a plywood stringer, do more. Look at that. Look how perfect that is. Just absolutely beautiful. That is how easy. Yeah, for this one you might have to take up the slack with some fiberglass. But for the Fins Unlimited, perfect fit. So this kit works awesome, so does the futures. All right, there you have it, guys. How to install futures and a center fin box using Greenlight Surf Supply's very own installation kits. I would give these kits very much a highly recommend, especially if you don't want to mess around trying to install these fin boxes just by using, freehanding it. So yeah, if you decide to buy these, use my affiliate links down below. By all means, do grab my 3D printed ones if you don't want to spend the money on that. Those work excellent as well. When I come across something that works really well, I like to share it, and I think these work really well. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. The polyurethane surfboard is coming along. I got the final shaping done. It's been a little cold, so I haven't really been coming out to the garage as much working on it. So I've been just tinkering with it here and there. All right, see you guys in the next one.